All right, y'all. It's that time again. But instead of an indescript black box, we obviously got one from Nabalis. Nabalis, I think. I don't know. I'm terrible with pronunciation. So, excited about this one. So, being a kid who grew up with Balisongs in the 80s and 90s, steel trainers or cheap steel Balisongs was kind of it, especially as like a kid. You weren't going to get your hands on a Benchmade 42, right? But we all saw them in the movies. I've always loved them. I've had more expensive Bally's over the years. I've had Microtech trainers and tachyons. What have I had? Bradley Chimeras. I had an early squid trainer back in like 2017, I think. Flipped on and off a little, mainly just like your basic openings, things like that. Here lately, I just really feel a resurgence to get back into Balisongs as I'm getting a little older. I've also found flipping Balisongs, for those of you that are starting to age, they're usually 25, 30 older. I'm now creeping on 40. Your hands start to hurt, especially I've been a laborer my whole life, doing repair work, things like that most of the time. Now building knives, whatever. Like, my hands were starting to hurt from gripping tools all the time. So these motions of playing with the Balisong has really helped with my hands not hurting, feeling like I have better dexterity, not like my hands are just going to clamp up one day and not work right. So that's been a huge benefit on top of, with ADHD and Asperger's, I'm fidgety. And flipping your regular pocket knife is not really socially acceptable to have it out and be playing with it. Like, people are not going to take kindly to that. So having some cool Balisongs is great. This is one of the entry-level offerings from Nabalis. You're going to see a few of those coming up. They've got the Impulse. They've got a Vulp. They've got, the Teflon Vulps. They've got the Cheese. They've got a lot of great stuff. This one happens to be stainless steel handles. It is the Nabalis Canyon. So let's take a look at it and see what we got from it. As you can see, we're still taped up. So let's tape the box. What are we using today? SNG. All right, let's take a look. All right, so we've got not a terrible felt bag. This is actually really nice. Okay. All right, I like it. All right, let's see what's in the box before we... So, thread locker. I'm going to assume that's pivot lube. We've got extra pivots, bushings, phosphor bronze washers, and some screws. So that's always nice. All right, what else? Nabalis sticker. Looks like another sticker. We've got T10 Torx, little driver. That's nice. That will be good for adjusting pivots. We'll keep that out. We're going to put that somewhere. I have all my... I'll probably do a video at some point talking about that. I got all my knife maintenance stuff in like a little kit. So I'll add that stuff with it. So, comes in plastic packaging within the felt wrapper. They're still putting the wrench that everyone talks about on there. I believe that's an import thing. Works for me. All right. Yeah, that's definitely the mood. I'm digging it. Good weight. All right, let me... Really hard to do this on camera. Oh, let's try a fan without knocking over the camera or my drink. I mean, balance-wise, it's good. Trying really hard not to knock over the camera here. All right, let's reposition. Let's check it out, not over the bench top. And we're back. All right, so swing is pretty good. Let's do a sound test. Really, not too much ring, at least not yet. Kind of got a nice kind of thump to it. Does ice pick well. All right. Let's go through the standard, right? All right, basic opening. And we've got our, got to get used to that weight. I mean, it's a little handle heavy for my liking, but it's probably just because I've been flipping that lightweight aluminum cone. Oh, let's see, how does it do with... And we drop it. All right, let's try it again. Man, having trouble getting my finger around that one. All right, there we go. Oh, ice pick, does that well. Latch drop. All right, I'm gonna have to play with the balance to figure out the fan. Get my hand in the right position. There we go. Oh, what else? How's it do us? Meh. So definitely gonna have to get used to it. But for 40 bucks versus the cheap $30 or $25 ones that are gonna lose their tune as soon as you drop them, I think that's a win. It's on bushings, phosphor bronze washers, comes in stainless or black acid wash. I think that's a really good value. And if you're used to heavier Balisong, you like something with a handle bias, this is going to feel good. First impressions, you know, so, but I think as I get used to it, let's try and do a wrist pass. I mean, it does a wrist pass well, so there we go. We're starting to get a little bit of ring now. It's loosening up, so we'll get a little lube in it. We'll play with it. All right, we'll do one. I mean, I usually drop it the first time on a new knife, so the fact that it didn't hit the floor the first time is probably a testament. I like how thin these handles are at the top. They're a little thicker at the bottom. It's got nice jimping. You've got speed channels. You've got nice speed channel cutouts with a little canyon theme on the handle scales, or on the handles. Hardware is recessed well. Play. When it's closed, I mean, it's minimal. Open. I mean, it moves a little, but I think all in all, for 40 bucks is a really good value. We're going to check out one of the Impulse so we can compare basically their $40 offerings, because the Impulse comes in three options. Your silver and black for 35. I think you get colors for 40, and then you can get like a faded color for 45. Whereas this comes basically in this trainer blade, in stonewash or acid wash. This thing's also stainless. The other is going to be extruded aluminum. I believe it is 63 aluminum for the extrusion process. But anyway, we'll check that out here soon when it gets here. But I wanted to check out some basic entry-level offerings. You know, everyone tells you to buy the cheap stuff to get started, to make sure you like flipping. Honestly, I think something like this, or maybe the Impulse, is really going to be a better recommendation. From there, we'll start to check out some other options. But I just really wanted to get a feel for what the current day entry-level offerings from a reputable company like Nabalis is like. And so far, I'm very impressed. So I think this, along with the beard comb that we finally found is good, are probably the only two things that don't have slop and a lot of play in them and are just actually enjoyable to start to flip. So I think I can get used to the weight on this really easily. I'm sure right about time I get used to it, we'll try and swap to something else, because I do prefer aluminum handles over the stainless, just weight-wise, I can already tell you. But this is going to be a good option. And I think if you like a heavier Balisong, this is going to be a great option for a lot of people. So hopefully this was helpful to someone. Just thought I'd give you all a first look. We will revisit this in a day or two when I've had a chance to flip it a little bit. Let's see. What trick was I working on the other day? Side kick. So it does that well. I need to work on fanning with this thing. But yeah, y'all have a good one.